are in let's say, here's the thing. I think the US is, I believe strongly, and this is just like my from my experience, like the US landscape is very different from the Canadian landscape.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So for me, reaching out to you, Krista, was because you were doing something that I haven't seen as yet here.
Hmm.
And I believe that, and this is not through any research, just my observation. The
Hmm.
last 5 years or post COVID has brought different experiences and, skill set out
Right.
for our people. And
Hmm.
it's beautiful to see that it's not the usual traditional, say, grocery store,
Yeah.
hair store, but
Right.
it's changing.
Right.
We have life coaches amongst us. We
Hmm.
have tech gurus amongst us,
Right. Right.
and people trying to get into entrepreneurship, but
Right. Right.
trying to navigate the way there. And those are some of the conversations I want to have with you as a
That's
business and marketing strategist, and even for myself,
right.
because I've been on this journey for a bit. And
Hmm.
do I have challenges? Yes. Am I blindsided a lot? Oh, hell yes.
I
Am,
appreciate the honesty.
am I wading through the waters? Definitely.
Right.
Wade through the waters. I'm waiting and waiting and waiting until I met Krista, and it's like maybe Krista would say, listen, this is the best way to swim. Don't just splash around.
Okay. All right.
Krista, welcome to the Nana Yaa Yeboaa Podcast.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
You are most welcome. Viewers, you are tuned into another beautiful episode of the Nana Yaa Yeboaa Podcast with my lovely, lovely, lovely Krista Jennings. So, Krista, I am going to give a little background about, Krista.
Mhm.
So she's a Jamaican-born business and marketing strategist. So she's a no nonsense, no bullshit, let's get it done kind of person. Yes. She's a political science graduate and entrepreneur for over a decade. So don't let these beautiful looks fool you. Krista has trained, coached, and consulted with countless businesses, helping them transform their sales funnels into systems that deliver predictable revenue. She is a powerhouse with expertise across marketing, operations, and business development. And she's facilitated over 100 workshops equipping organizations to increase conversions, shorten sales cycles, and build lasting loyalty. Krista, once
Yes.
again, my dear, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having
I,
me.
I am I hope you've already had breakfast because
Yes.
I am so enthused to have you and
Yeah.
talk to you
Okay.
about business
All right. Let's do
and
it.
marketing.
Let's do it.
Okay. But before we start, I know in your bio you said you're Jamaican born.
Mhm.
So you got flavor.
Of course. What do you mean?
If you don't mind, you can share with us, your background growing up, how it has influenced you to, and how it helped direct your path into your business. And
Sounds good.
yeah.
So, as you said, I was born in Jamaica. I moved to Canada when I was about 13 years old,
Mhm.
and kind of just been living here ever since. But I mean, going back to the roots, right? I mean, I strongly believe, and anyone who's listening, that Jamaicans are very resilient, right? We're very, very resilient people, very proud people as well. And I think that being a part of like my DNA and just like how I was socialized, I think that definitely provided me that the opportunity and the confidence and the fortitude to do anything that I really wanted to do or anything that I was interested in doing, and being able to explore those opportunities and see what would come of it. So that's kind of like where it really started. And then but just been living here in Toronto now for some time, right? I mean, and yeah, that's kind of where it kind of evolved. I don't know if that answers your question, but yeah.
So, what are some of the strengths? I know you talked about resiliency in your background,
Mhm.
but Why did you read political science and
Okay.
then get into this what you
Business.
do as a business and marketing strategist?
So, I guess, well, I mean, I think that for a lot of people, you go into university with this like this goal, this dream to like, do something really amazing, and I mean, and then you get into university, and then you kind of understand life, and you understand the political landscape of different spheres, right, and different
Mm-hmm.
aspects of life, and being able to understand those things is important. So actually, I went to York. When I started York, my goal was to eventually go to law school. That was like the plan.
Mm-hmm.
And in about like my second year of just kind of like diving deep more into like to law and understanding it and actually having conversations with lawyers, I
Mm-hmm.
realized quickly that that might not necessarily be the angle for me. That sounds a little like it sounds a little bit more rigid than I had thought about. So then I switched to political science. It's like, okay, well, maybe I'll get into politics and get into community development and things like that. I mean, that's still something that's on my radar, and it's something that I'm actively involved in, just in a different way. And after getting my degree in political science, I worked in banking for a while, and I also worked in the nonprofit space as well. And I also worked in education. So I have been able to kind of like navigate different spheres and different industries and see how things work in those industries and those spaces. And that kind of led me into like, okay, well, I have a little bit of understanding of things. I know how things work. I'm adaptable. And then I kind of just from there kind of just launched into entrepreneurship.
Nice, 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 nice. So, um, let's see that. W- what are some of your personal or professional, challenges that, or were there any professional or personal challenges that pushed you into the entrepreneurship, or it was just a step
Well,
into?
well, I mean, it was me wanting to help people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but help people in a very meaningful way, in a very tangible
Mm-hmm.
way, right? And I mean, in whatever industry you work in, you're going to be impacting people in some shape or form,
Yeah.
right? But I
Mm-hmm.
just thought about how I can really help people to like be more empowered and be able to build things and to actually create the life that they truly want. And I don't know, as
Mm-hmm.
cliche as that sounds, so like the last opportunity, like full-time opportunity that I had, that I got laid off from, actually, I was like, you know what? I'm going to use this as a catapult into building something, building my brand, whatever this looks like. I actually went into it quite blindly, to be honest. I'm like, let me just catapult myself into this. Let me see what is going to come of this. And here we are, like 11 plus years later.
So you're an action-oriented
Yes,
person. It's
yes.
like, let's just get it done.
Let's just
When
do
you,
it.
let's just do it. When
Yeah.
you said you went in blindly, it's like when I started the podcast, I the first time I ever sat, in front of a camera and everything, I just walked into a studio which I just opened, and they only had one show
Mhm.
or program on it, and I said I could do something, and I
Yeah.
had no idea.
Right. But here's the thing, it's like it's like I believe, like I'm a believer, and I believe that
Mm,
sometimes we want to do something, and it's like we get that opportunity to see it face to face in whatever shape that looks like, and you're like, okay, you know what? Like maybe that's God planting that seed for me to do something. Like maybe he's going to use me through this avenue to have an impact, to help people, whatever that looks like, right? So,
yes, 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 yes. So let's talk about your vision and your expectation for your business, and then we'll talk about the businesses, if you're able to share
right.
some of the businesses that you have been able to support.
Yeah.
So when you think about your business today, for instance, right?
Mhm.
What is your bigger vision for it in the years to come?
How much
I
time?
I know I asked you the question and I started laughing.
How much time do you have?
We have all the time in the world.
I mean, I feel like it's just really building on what I've already been able to create to this point. So, doing more workshops, reaching more people, creating more offers that just align with people who are at different stages of like building their business. So a lot of the people that I work with are people who already have a business and they're looking to scale it up. So looking at, I'm helping them to understand like how it is that they can better operate their marketing, looking at, their sales funnel and looking at their marketing funnel, looking at it through a different lens as well, right? So just being able to see like, okay, where there's bottlenecks, what is it that you need to do in order for you to actually grow this? Because it's like you can't scale something that is not on solid foundation, right? So ensuring that the foundation is strong enough so that they can build on it and have a bigger impact, and of course make more money, because that's also a part of it as well. So that's what that looks like. I mean, I really like teaching people, so like kind of doubling down on that, like hosting workshops, trainings, things like that. I've worked with a number of different organizations over the years. I've gone in and worked with their team directly, created trainings and programs to help their marketing team be able to systemize their business, and also look at ways in which they can streamline things and increase their reach and their revenue.
Mhm. Great, great, great.
Mhm.
So it's hmm, that is wonderful. That is great. How do you do all this?
I just do it. I mean, I think it's just
It's
really okay, meeting with people and getting a clear understanding of what it is that they need, and presenting the opportunities or the options, right? Doing an assessment, and letting them know these are some of the things that I've noticed, and these are some of the
mhm.
things that you want to double down and pay attention to. And sometimes companies will like thank you, and they run up, they take it and they work at it, or we'll partner together and we'll work hand in hand, and I help them kind of build that out and streamline that and support their team as well. So it
So
looks different for different
it
clients.
looks different. So do you normally reach out to different companies or they reach out to you or
A
vice
mixture of
versa?
both. A mixture of both, right?
Mhm.
I mean, a part of building a business, a part of being able to ensure that your pipeline is flowing, is for you to focus on lead generation, right? So I mean,
Yes.
leads are gonna come from different angles. It's really also, like, I think for me at this point, it's leveraging referrals more. For me, it's also like getting introductions to other industries and different spaces that I haven't quite worked in or worked extensively in. So it's just really like leveraging your network, right? And sometimes you don't know anyone in these spaces, so you're just kind of blindly going into those conversations, or reaching out to people on LinkedIn, or sending an email like a cold
Mhm.
pitch and saying, hey, I notice this is happening in your company, or I see that there's a need. This may be a need right now based off of the things that I've been noticing in the news, or just the communication that they've been sending out, and using that as an opportunity to see what opportunities there could be for us to collaborate, for us to for me to work with them. But because I strongly believe that if you don't ask, the answer
You
is,
wouldn't
yeah,
know.
you don't get it, right? It's the unknown,
That's true.
right? Because you're like, okay, well, if
Mhm.
I ask, would I've gotten it? If you don't ask, you don't know, right? So
That's
yeah.
true. That's true. That leads into my next thought line of question about, sometimes people hear us, listen to us, people want a little bit of tidbits of how to,
Hmm.
you know, um, stand when the going gets strong,
Hmm.
or yes, how do they cope? It's like any personal philosophies, rituals.
Prayer. Prayer. I definitely believe that prayer can change things.
Mhm.
I think this is something that people underestimate: having routines. So having a morning routine and a nighttime routine, like, that sets a trajectory of your day. Like having a morning routine, regardless of where you are, how you feel, and it's just like you're setting a tone for the day. So for me, that's prayer, reading the Bible, and journaling.
So, like when you say morning routine, how is your morning routine like? Like, what time do you wake up and get all these things?
I mean,
If you
it
have
doesn't
a
matter
time
what.
structure.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of time structure, I try to be a little bit lenient with myself, because I know if I was up working a little bit later that night, or I didn't get much sleep that night for whatever reason, I'm not going to stress myself out to jump out of bed at 6 a.m. Like, that's
Mhm.
just, I'm not being kind to myself by doing that, because by like 11 o'clock I'll probably crash out, and then I'm not as productive. So I believe strongly that you should get, as much as possible, good quality sleep. So that sets the tone. But generally, I'm up by like 6:30 every morning. generally, sometimes a little bit later, sometimes a little bit earlier. Just waking up, like I said, prayer, reading my Bible, journaling, and
Mhm.
then getting, usually during the week, I mostly work out during the week. So I get like a good 30-minute to 40-minute workout in, then
Mhm.
breakfast and shower, get ready, and get to my desk and start my day, my work day.
And get Nana Yaa to harass you to come onto her podcast because now, you know, but I should say thank you very much for coming onto
No
this
worries.
podcast.
No
And
worries.
normally there is a beginning question that I ask, which is, why did you say yes? Because I want to know people's intentions of saying yes.
Well, I mean, I believe strongly in connecting with people, right? And I
Mhm.
mean, it doesn't matter. Sometimes you think about how you're going to connect with people. You never know what kind of impact you can have on someone. Like, we don't know who's going to listen to this and they're going to
Yeah.
reach out to you, or they reach out to me, or whatever the case is, or that's going to be the seed that's being sown for them to actually like start creating the life that they truly want, right? So you never know like where and how you can have that impact on someone. But believe it or not, like maybe like a week ago, I was like, you know what, I haven't like been actively been on podcasts for a while, and I just said, yeah, I could have just said it, and literally like 2 days later I happened to be on LinkedIn and I checked my messages and you reached out to me, and I was like, okay, God, all right,
I
okay,
lo- I love that. I am inclined to go with that divine
yes,
stuff.
yes,
I am inclined to go with that. Yes.
yes,
Um, sort of I did a change in my job, and I realized that also all the contacts that I have built with my podcast over the years, it's resurfacing on the fact that I need them on one or two things when
right.
it comes to what they do, whether they're businesses, whether they're coaches, whether they're this. It's like I was telling my team that I didn't realize I had a network.
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
I
it's important to also tap into that network.
Yes, I did not realize I had such important, network for that. But indeed, it is there. It is
Mhm.
there. So let's reflect on, as human beings, fear is one thing that always surrounds us. And when we work to, whether we are very much aware of it or not, we're also trying to build some form of legacy and accomplish something as, as we are alive, as we're here. So,
Mhm.
as much as you being an entrepreneur or the entrepreneurship, which is about growth and drive, it's also about reflection. All right.
Absolutely.
So, on that note, let's talk about some of your fears, your legacy, and
Mhm.
what you're most proud of in your job.
Ah, well, okay. So, I mean, when it comes down to like fears and things like that, I
Mhm.
think that for me, I strongly believe that um, if what you focus on expands, and whenever I find myself being in that space where it's like, okay, I'm overthinking, like I'm a chronic overthinker, I'm starting to overthink, or I'm starting to like think about things that like haven't happened and probably will never happen. I have to like
Yes.
catch myself and reel myself back in. I'm like, okay, you know what, this time and energy that you're focused, that you're putting on this is focus that you can put into things that you actually want to happen, right? The things that are actually going to be fruitful. Like, put your time and energy into things. So I believe strongly that faith and fear requires focus,
Mhm.
but it's like, where are you going to be putting in that time? So I strongly believe that we should just catch yourself as soon as possible. Don't go down that rabbit hole of like overthinking and like being fear led, or even using fear as a reason for you not to do the things that you want to do, right? Like using fear as an excuse. And that's going to prevent you from like being able to be diligent and to gain the wisdom you need to gain, and gain the experience as well that you need to gain, so that you can build the thing that you want to build, or even in your job, or even if you're a parent, or like whatever that ministry looks like, right?
Yeah.
Thinking about it from that standpoint. In terms of legacy, so I don't have a family of my own yet, but I think about like what I'm going to be able to create for them, and what it is that what that would look like, right?
Mhm.
Um, and that is kind of a part of the reason, like why I've also like, as I've been like on my entrepreneurial journey, I've been able to think about, okay, what's really my why? And I think that for me, that's rooted in why I'm doing what it is that I'm doing and why I've stick to it, because um, as much as it may seem quite glamorous or whatever the case is, there's times where I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore, because it's just like it's hard. Like it's like one of the biggest like personal development journeys you'll ever embark
Mm-hmm.
in your life. It's hard. Like there's times I'm like, oh, but I keep moving forward because I know what my why is, and it's rooted back into like legacy and thinking about the freedom and the opportunities that I want to be able to tap into in the near future as well.
I wish many of us knew our whys. I think some people like me, you meet me, you think I know my why. I'm almost always in a flux.
It changes though from season to season, right? Things
Yeah,
happen,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like it can change, and if it changes, that's okay as well.
yeah.
So
So it's like, okay, I'm alive. What's next?
yeah, literally taking it one day at a time, right?
What's next? Where is this leading? I have no idea whatsoever.
Right.
Yeah,
But
because in my head, and I in my head, I had built the perfect, podcast, how it's going to look like. In reality, life brought challenges that sometimes a month, 2 months, I'm dead silent.
right.
And I feel, and during those times, I felt like, oh, you're not doing anything. And somebody pointed it out. No, you're doing a lot. You're resting,
Yes.
you're recuperating,
Yes.
new ideas will come to mind. It's like,
Yes.
oh, I wasn't thinking
Rest.
about it that way. So I'm taking a break somewhat. And you are one of the very few first people that I
Mhm.
reached out to.
Mhm.
And you said yes. I said, okay,
Mhm.
back on.
Right. And rest is important, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Like, and I think we need to bask in the rest. And sometimes I feel guilty resting because I'm just like, you know what I could be doing, like I could have knocked
mm-hmm,
these three things off my to-do list. Like
mm-hmm,
there's so many things I could have. I'm like, no, rest. Like
mm-hmm,
you need to
mm-hmm,
rest. You need to rest so
mm-hmm,
that you can be optimal. You can be renewed,
mm-hmm.
right? So yes, it's important to rest.
That's excellent. So back to you
Mhm.
right now at this stage in your life, if you could speak to your younger self,
Oh goodness.
or standing at the beginning of your journey,
Mm-mm.
what advice will you give to her?
Don't take yourself so seriously. I mean, I think over the years I've become less rigid
Yeah.
and less linear and less strict. Like I think like
Mm-hmm.
I came out the womb being like a very serious person. So I think that like kind of just like as lifed, right? And you've
Yes.
experienced certain things and you've gone through things and you've navigated different things, it's forced you to like just chill, right?
Mm-hmm.
And don't take yourself so seriously, but always honor the word that you give to yourself. If you say you want to do something, you owe it to yourself to follow through on it. Like
Mm-hmm.
don't don't neglect what it is that you want. Like really
Mm-hmm.
and truly, if you can't own your word to yourself, how are you going to be able to own your word to other people, right? So you
Yes.
have to, you just really think about yourself and focus on like nurturing a healthy relationship with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would say to younger Krista.
Look at you. Guys, if you just tuned in, you are listening or watching the Nana Yaa Yeboaa podcast. It's myself with Krista Jennings, business and marketing strategist with over a decade of experience. So if you're thinking about going into business, if you have a business, whether small, medium, or large, she comes in with a different perspective and takes a look at what needs to be done, helps you and supports the organization to get to its maximum. Krista,
Yes.
my next question to you is those who don't understand funneling.
Yeah.
So let's get into the nitty gritty of
Okay.
what it is business marketing. If some when you say business marketing, what is business marketing? When we talk about funneling,
Mhm.
what is that?
Right. So think of your funnel as like the gateway for people to spend money with you, right? So and obviously building a business is all about like relationship building, right? And I think that people sometimes overlook that you need to nurture a relationship with people, especially if you're building a business that it's not a trendy thing. It's not something for the here and now, but it's something that you want it to be around for a very long time. You want there to be sustainability. One of the biggest things that businesses overlook is having that retention. So think of your funnel as like the gateways. So the first time someone hears about your brand, generally someone needs to see or have some kind of interaction with your brand upwards of like 11 times before they ever do anything, right? So maybe they may have seen your video on YouTube, maybe they've seen your video on Instagram, maybe a friend told them about it. They've come across your brand or your business through four different means. And then in order for them to make that first, like, okay, let me check this out. Let me actually go to a website. Let me see what the products or the services they have to offer. It takes like 11 touch points.
Oh, wow.
Right. So I think sometimes people are like, that's why I'm a little bit apprehensive to go to sometimes these networking events, because when someone meets you and they're just like, yeah, this is my business and I sell this and here, you want to buy it? And it's like, hello, hi, how are you? Like, I don't know you. I like let's reel it back a little bit, right? So just think about how that looks like for your business. So someone first hears about your business, you have all these touch points where they come across your business in whatever platforms. So that is like the top of your funnel, literally, right? And then when they do something, so whether that's they've opted in to be on your email list or they start to follow you on social media, that's the first step, right? So that's still at the top of the funnel. But then you're like, okay, you know what? I want to learn more. So maybe you have some kind of course, or like maybe you have like a weekly newsletter or some kind of information guide that you have to offer, and they sign up for that. That's still at the top of the funnel. As they continue to engage with the content, information, whatever it is that you're disseminating, they're like, okay, you know what? This is like, inadvertently, they're qualifying themselves and saying, you know what? I think I'm a good fit for this particular product. I think I'm a good fit for this particular service. So they're self-qualifying themselves. And then they're like, you know what? I'm going to reach out because I think that I want to sign up for the service. I want to get access to this person's services, or I want to buy their products, but I want to have a conversation with them. So whether if you're offering a service, for instance, and they go and they book a call and you're having a conversation, you're getting a better understanding of what their needs are. So they've already qualified themselves at this point. So you're the person who is a business owner is at this point kind of doubling down on qualifying this person, saying, okay, you know what? I think this person is actually a good fit for my service, right? And that process is happening at the middle of the funnel. So there's three stages. So the top, the middle, and then the bottom of the funnel. And they're like, okay, you know what? Yes, I want to buy. Okay, let's sign up. Sign up, pay, whatever the case is. That's still at the middle of the funnel. And then you're like, okay, you know what? We go through the service, the product, it's really good. Okay, well, I think I want to learn more. Then they've navigated down to like the bottom of the funnel. And then that's where you're going to focus on like retention. So not just only ensuring that people buy from you once, but they're buying from you multiple times, because it's cheaper for you to be able to have someone buy from you multiple times as opposed to going out there and getting new leads. So if someone's purchased from you once, it's much, much easier for them to purchase from you multiple times. So you want to ensure that you're leveraging that relationship after they've purchased from you once.
Oh, wow.
So that's like the very abbreviated version of what that looks like.
Oh, I had no clue. So that definitely is lessons learned. And so at any point in time, if you guys are, trying to figure out what the funneling is, that is the breakdown of the funneling. And if you have a business and you are in need, just like I am also in need, you connect with Krista, and Krista will help you, go through it. So I know we've spoken about the kind of clients that you assist, but you also get clients that are just starting. They have the idea,
Yeah.
but they don't know where to go from there.
Right. So I do actually I had, like, funny you brought this up. Like, I did have an offer that I created some time ago, and I was kind of like praying about it, and then I felt nudged to, like, pull it out of the out of the archive and repackage it and put it together. So I do have like an offer where people who are possibly in, they have a 9 to 5 or they work a corporate job or whatever, whatever sphere they are in, and they're thinking about monetizing their skills. So I do have an offer where I help them to, like, they already have to know what skill or what
Skills
it
there.
is it
Yeah.
is that they want to monetize. And over a course of 8 weeks, we build out their entire business on that.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So by the end of it, they will have their sales funnel and they'll be able to at least be able to bring in 2 to 3 clients.
So if such a person who happens to listen to this conversation,
Mhm.
how do they reach you? Where do they connect? What website? Yada yada.
So KristaJennings.com, or search me Krista Jennings on the
Yeah.
internet. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and reach out and we can have a conversation if if they're a good fit for it. I mean, of course, there's an application form and everything like that to make sure that they are actually the right person for it. So I mean, I think there's no other time like the present that a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people, like you were saying earlier, are tapping into entrepreneurship. And I think that
Mm-hmm.
there's an abundance of opportunities that you can create for yourself, right? But you have to have the mindset to see it through. So you can like think it's a really good idea and you think you get really excited. For a lot of people, when they think about something and they get really excited, like, yes, I want to do it. But you want to do it, but you want to stay consistent. So like one of the things that I always drill into people before I ever take their money is like, you have to be committed, because I don't want you to, I don't want to take your money and wait and you waste my time, right? And I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to waste my time either, right? Like this has to be a fruitful experience for both of us, right? So you have to be committed, and you have to make some sacrifices too, because I mean, a lot of my clients are busy professional women with that
Mm-hmm.
have young children, like children under the age of 5 years old, but they're still committed to like wanting to monetize their skills. And even maybe they don't necessarily want to completely leave their corporate job, but be able to actually have that other stream of income. And they understand that it requires them to be able to make those sacrifices now so that they can have that opportunity or have the option, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's really about thinking about why it is that you're doing something at the core of it all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask about the diversity of your clients,
Mhm.
which is it a lot of us? Uh, I
Uh,
think you understood the question, so you can take it anywhere you like.
I mean, I think I have a variety. I mean, a
Mm-hmm.
big portion definitely are people who look like me. I've worked with organizations that are rooted in. I've worked with like the Black Speakers Network. I've
Mm-hmm.
worked with the National Sales Network, and the National Sales Network is based out of the U.S., but their mandate is on supporting Black and Brown people who are navigating sales and wanting to build careers in sales. So I
Mm-hmm.
did a workshop for them last August in Houston, Texas. um, I've worked a number of times with the Black Speakers Network. I've also co-authored a book with them as well. So I've done some work with them. They create platforms and opportunities for people who are speakers, Black people who are speakers who want to monetize and kind of strengthen
Mm-hmm.
that arm of their business. So I've worked with a lot of a few organizations that are rooted in helping Black people and people of color. But of course, I have clients who are from different spheres, different industries. So I have a good variety.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did I just hear you co-authored a book?
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about that book. What is the
um,
title? And if we're looking for it, where can we
okay.
find it?
It's called Speak Up. Oh, I have it somewhere here. That was a while ago. That was in 2019. It's a book of
Mm-hmm.
for. So I co-authored the book with the Black Speakers Network. So I wrote a book. I wrote a chapter around actually like building systems and using those systems to build your sales funnels for people who are the book is created for people who are speakers or people who want to build up like their speaking
Mm-hmm.
empire. So that's kind of what that angle was on.
That's excellent. That's excellent.
Mhm.
So, if there are any more copies there, where can we find a copy
Yes,
or
you could.
copies of the book?
Yeah, there should be copies on Amazon. So look up the title of the book is called Speak Up.
Mm-hmm.
um I just put Speak Up in on Amazon, and you'll be able to grab the book.
Nice, nice, nice. But before we round up, let's look at the Canadian market.
Hmm. That's a very interesting space to navigate. The majority of my clients and clientele base is south of the border, the US.
Mm-hmm.
But I find that I think it's just like the sentiment of Canadians where they're like, okay, you know what? Like, yes, they may want to do something, but they're just like not. They're just not willing to take that risk, right?
Mm.
And I don't know if it's just like the fabric of Canada. I don't know what it is.
Fear,
Yeah, yeah, probably fear.
discomfort.
Right. It's like, well, doing like what I'm doing right now is it's safe, right? And it's like,
Mm.
okay. And here's the thing: not everybody is going to want to navigate entrepreneurship, So I totally get that. But for the people who are interested and want to, and it's one thing to be interested and wanting to do something, but then also being committed as well. So like you have to decide which one of those buckets you're going to fall in. So if you're committed, then you know that it was going to require you to do the work. It's going to require you to put in the time investment. It's going to require you to put the financial investment, and you have to follow things through, right? Like the first time you try something, it may not pan out. The likelihood of it panning out exactly how you wanted it to is slim to none, right? But you still have to keep going, and having that mindset is going to be the deciding factor for whether or not you're going to build something that's successful and something that's profitable, or you're going to always feel like you're running on this hamster wheel with no like end goal in mind.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I
Thank
know.
you, Chris. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for your beautiful smile. Thank you for everything, all the knowledge and the wisdom you have shared with us on this podcast. I hope to bring you back in the near future so we can delve into more business, and hopefully by that time our Canadian landscape has moved the, the needle.
Yeah.
So, do you have a word or two for people thinking about business, going to business? Any suggestions or word of advice?
Yeah, so I think that now, we're in September of 2025 when we're recording this, and it's important for you to, regardless of when you're listening to this, it's important for you to understand why you want to do something and decide whether or not you're going to be committed to doing it, right? So if you're interested in starting a business, ask yourself why you want to start this business. So not just about the money, the financial gains, but like what is, because if it's just money, that's not going to be the moving factor. That's not going to push you hard enough, or you want to take action that's going to be consistent action to be able to get things done, right? So get really clear as to like why you want to do it, and start. Like it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to have like like sometimes people think they need to have like spend thousands of dollars on a website. No, how about like get the basic that you need to get started and go out there and make money. Like if you can make money from what you're doing, then you know you're onto something. Like focus on making the money first. Like if you can go out there and sell something to a complete stranger, then you know that you're onto something. Like the money's going to validate if you have something or you don't.
So, so I'm not making money yet. So
Right.
then I'm not doing it right.
No,
But
I'm
I'm
not
having
saying
lots of fun.
okay, but like what's their like do you mind sharing like what your goal is with this, or is it just like as a means to like start building a brand? Because for a lot of people they start a podcast, they're like, well, I don't really know why I'm doing it or like where it's gonna go, but it's like they start doing it and you'd be surprised how it allows for them to be able to just like have opportunities that they wouldn't have normally had.
I started a podcast because I I felt there was a need for a space for us to be able to tell our stories
Right.
authentically.
Mm-hmm.
So, whether you, as a business and marketing strategist, a
Mm-hmm.
space whereby they can come see somebody that looks like them
Mm-hmm.
doing this, they could understand the language, the challenges, and
Mm-hmm.
when they hear, they say, "Oh, I can do it." There
Right.
is this person, this resource. I didn't even know there are,
Mm-hmm.
persons of color or Black people who were business and marketing strategists,
Right.
right? So that was the main goal for me, that it's a platform whereby I can have, you know, leadership consultants come in, or self-development leaders, authors, almost
Yeah.
financial
Yeah.
gurus or
Right.
what, come on and
Expertise. Yeah.
share with us. Okay, I understand you're an immigrant, back home is there. When you are doing your budget, add it to it. These are some of the strategies other people have used, as in living here and back home, those cultural,
Mm-hmm.
so it allows for those conversations on this platform, and I've learned a lot. So I'll tell you that, first of all, it was selfishly me wanting to learn, and then If I'm learning, then everybody is learning.
Right.
And understanding the power of story,
Hmm.
this also allows us for us to tell our own stories.
Right.
And that's why I continue to do it.
But it's also giving other people an opportunity to access this information that they probably wouldn't have had.
Yes.
So,
Yes. That's why I continue to do it.
right.
And it brings me a lot of joy.
Okay.
It brings me a
And if
lot of
you're
joy.
having fun doing it, then absolutely.
But the cherry on top of the fan will be the
The monetization,
the monetization.
we can talk about that.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. Krista, it has been a blast having you on the
Thank
podcast.
you. Thank
Once again, before we go, where do we find you?
you. You can find me on all socials at Krista Jennings. You can find me at KristaJennings.com.
And we'll be dropping all her socials at the bottom, wherever you watch it.
Thank
Krista,
you.
thank you.
Thank you for having me.
We wish you the very best. Guys, if you have not subscribed or shared, if you have not subscribed to the Nana Yaa Yeboaa podcast, please do so and like and share it to anybody that needs to hear this information. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.